Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kwame. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 10 courses that will lead you to becoming a permanent resident in Australia after you've finished your studies. Yes, I know most of you guys asked for it, so this is the video for you. So before we get into the video, just know that I am not a migration agent or an educational agent, so please use any advice in this video as general advice only. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into the video. Okay guys, so let's get right into the list. So the 10 courses that might lead to permanent residency in Australia. Before we go ahead with the list, just know that I took my time and did a deep dive in regards to the skilled occupation list. Okay, so guys, the skilled occupation list is basically a list that shows you the skills that are in high demand in Australia. So if you are someone that is looking at coming to work in Australia or coming to study in Australia, and you are looking at staying in Australia on the longer term, or you're looking at getting your permanent residency after your studies, then this list should be your Bible, your Quran, your book. Okay, make sure you are always on this list looking into it. So what the government basically does is sometimes they take some skills out of this list and they keep adding some, but with the 10 that I'm coming to share with you guys, it's been on this list for a very long time, and this shows you that these sort of skills are in high demand in Australia. I also used the visa processing times. So there are some occupations on the list that whenever you want to use that to migrate to Australia, your visa is going to be prioritized. Okay, so I'll also have the link here. So as you guys can see here, there are some occupations here. So all the occupations listed here, so something in regards to the healthcare and teaching occupations, all these are hot skills in Australia. So if you are someone that has got experience in this sort of skill set, you can apply, and within no time your visa is going to be granted. So I basically combined these two lists and I came up with 10 that are in high demand in Australia. What I'm also trying to say is these 10 are not the only ones. There are more other skills in Australia that are in high demand, but these are my 10. So always go back to the skills occupation list and have a deep dive for yourself and see if what you have skill sets in is listed here. Now let's get right into the video. So what is the number one? So the number one is engineering. Guys, this is in no particular order. Okay, so this is in no particular order. So the number one is engineering. So engineering, you can study courses like bachelors of engineering in either civil, mechanical, electrical, software, computer systems, and the rest. So when you study engineering, be rest assured, if everything goes right, you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident in Australia. The number two is nursing. You guys are aware, Australia needs a lot of nurses. Okay, so in case you want to come and study in Australia, you can study something in Bachelor of Nursing, Graduate Diploma of Nursing, or Master of Nursing. Okay, you can also do something in regards to like enrolled nursing, assistant in nursing, and the rest. Okay, but these are a few courses I've listed here to help you guys out. Number three is information technology. Yay, I did IT. Okay, so if you're an IT person and you want to come study in Australia, you can study something in Bachelor of Information Technology, Bachelor of Computer Science, Bachelor of Software Engineering, Bachelor of Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity pays a lot. I know people that are getting over $150,000 a year in doing cybersecurity. Bachelor of Data Science. So if you want to study IT too, if you study any of these courses and more, you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident in Australia, because these sort of skill sets are in high demand in Australia. So let's say if you're someone that develops like apps and also programming, trust me, these skill sets are hot in Australia. Number four is accounting. So if you are very passionate about accounting and finance, then you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent residency if you study any of these courses. So Bachelor of Accounting, Bachelor of Business, which is finance, Bachelor of Commerce, which is majoring in accounting, Master of Professional Accounting, and more. Number five is education. As you guys saw on the visa processing times or on the priority skills list, health and education was on there. Okay, so if you're a teacher and you want to come and study in Australia, you can study something in regards to Bachelor of Education Primary, Bachelor of Education Secondary, Master of Teaching. If you study any of these courses, then be rest assured you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident in Australia. Number 6 is Medical and Health Sciences. Okay, so Bachelor of Medicine, Bachelor of Surgery MBBS, Bachelor of Dental Surgery, Bachelor of Pharmacy, Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science, Bachelor of Radiography and Medical Imaging, Bachelor of Exercise and Sports Science, and many more. So if you study any of these courses in Australia, you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident. And of course, trades. Trades earns a lot in Australia, guys. Okay, so if you're a trades person and you migrate to Australia, you get paid a lot. So Certificate 3 in plumbing, Certificate 3 in electrotechnology, electrician, Certificate 3 in carpentry and joinery, and many more. So if you study a trade in Australia, trust me, Australia needs a lot of trades people. You'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident. The number 8 is hospitality. Okay, so all the chefs out there. So Certificate 3 in commercial cookery. If you are passionate about cooking, okay, and you want to study something in Australia, you can study Certificate 3 in commercial cookery, Certificate 3 in patisserie, Certificate 4 in hospitality management, and many more. If you study any of these courses in Australia, be rest assured you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent residency. Of course, number 9 is social work. Social work is now hot cake, and as you guys have heard me preaching on this channel, Australia needs a lot of support workers. Okay, so either you are a nursing support worker or disability or aged care support worker or personal care assistant worker, then you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident. So social work and community services are hot cakes in Australia. So if you study something like Bachelor of Social Work, Master of Social Work, Bachelor of Community Services, Bachelor of Counseling, any of these courses, if you study any of these courses, you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident in Australia. And number 10, veterinary science. Okay, so Bachelor of Veterinary Science and Master of Veterinary Science, these these skills are also hot cake in Australia. So if you're a veterinary in Australia, trust me, you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent residency in Australia. And of course, I've got a bonus for you guys. So the last but not the least, the number 11 is agriculture and environmental science. So if you study something agricultural science, Bachelor of Environmental Science, Bachelor of Sustainable Agriculture, then you'll be on your way to becoming a permanent resident. Now, this is not just it, okay? There are other things to consider. You need to consider one or two things. So first, you need to look at your interests, skills, and career goals. So make sure any of the courses I've made mention of is aligned with your skills, interests, and goals. And most importantly, let's say if you are already in your home country, let's say if you're in Ghana, Nigeria, Pakistan, India, and you've already finished your Bachelor of, let's say, Arts, okay, and you want to study Bachelor of Nursing in Australia, it doesn't line up. Okay, so you need to give a strong reason as to why you want to study Bachelor of Nursing in Australia. Make sure the sort of course you choose is somewhat in line with what you've already studied. So for example, let's say someone that has finished high school, okay, and wants to come and study in Australia. If you finish high school or year 12, then you have a high chance of selecting any of these courses I've made mention of if only you have interest in. You can choose to come and study a Certificate 3 course. So you can choose to study maybe Certificate 3 in plumbing. But when you're coming to study a certificate, your educational agent needs to be really, really smart and draw up like a plan, okay, to show immigration, because immigration doesn't like the fact that people will just choose to study a certificate course because it's cheaper. So your educational agent will need to plan with you, and let's say they'll be like, okay, for your first 6 months, you'll be studying a Certificate 3 in plumbing. Then maybe after you finish with your Certificate 3, you move to like an advanced diploma in plumbing. Then from there, you go to like your bachelor's, your bachelor in plumbing or something. Okay, they need to have a plan or have a pathway with your studies. With that, your visa is going to be granted. But let's say if you've already finished your bachelor's degree and you want to come and study in Australia, you need to study something in regards to your master's. So let's say if you did Bachelor's of Nursing in your home country and you want to come and study in Australia, then you need to target Master of nursing. You cannot just straight away go from a bachelor's degree to a certificate. It's really, really tough to do that. And when they see that, they will know that, hey, your intention is just to enter Australia and your visa is going to be declined. I know most people, especially most people that have done their masters and bachelors, they see their certifications or diplomas or diploma courses in Australia to be very, very cheap. So most of them start targeting those ones. Trust me, if you don't have a clear pathway and have a strong argument in regards to why all of a sudden you drop in from your bachelor's or master's to a certificate, then your visa is going to be declined. It's as simple as that. An educational agent would be the best to advise you in regards to this. You need to also look at the eligibility requirements. So guys, if you are only coming to study in Australia and going back to your home country, then that is explainable. You can just apply for your student visa, come study and go back. But come on guys, let's be real here. You and me know that after you finish your studies, you want to stay in Australia and work so you can get paid more. Okay, so if you have that intention of getting your permanent residency after your studies, then it's really, really important to look at eligibility criteria. Let's say your age. Okay, you know that Australia goes by the age and they also use a point system. So let's say if you're like 40 years old and you're now coming to study something in medicine, a medical degree can take you over 4 to 5 years. So by the time you finish your degree, you'll be like 44 or 45. And your chances of you getting a permanent residency is going to go all the way down. Okay, so you have to make sure you look at the eligibility criteria before applying for your student visa. Now, the number 3, the cost of the course. Some courses can be really, really expensive in Australia. Actually, studying in Australia is not cheap. It's not cheap. You'll be looking around spending like $14,000 to like $20,000 studying a course per semester. So per year, you'll be looking around 40,000 Australian dollars to just study. Okay, so studying a course is not cheap. Yes, if you are lucky, you can get a scholarship. How many people get scholarships? Okay, if you are really, really serious on migrating to Australia, then make sure you've got cash, because some of these courses are not cheap. Number 4, you also have to consider the duration of the course. So how long is the course going for? Some can go for like a year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Most bachelor courses will go for minimum 3 years to 4 years. So you need to consider the duration of the course too. And last but not the least, the most important one, the location of the university or college. The location matters a lot because Australia gives priority to people that are studying in regional areas. So let's say if you want to study Bachelor of Nursing or Social Work, you need to select a regional area to do your studies. When I say regional area, so apart from Sydney, Melbourne and Brisbane, apart from these 3 major cities, anywhere else in Australia is considered as regional. So make sure you target the regional areas, because the regional areas, they always have better requirement to suit people. I'm not saying if you decide to study in Brisbane, Sydney or Melbourne, your chances of you becoming a permanent residency is 0. No, you can still become a permanent residency, but the requirement is going to be really, really difficult as compared to someone that is living and studying in a regional area. So now let's look at the steps to take. Okay, so I know I've mentioned this. So what is the step to go through to becoming a permanent residency? So action number 1 is, of course, you need to choose an eligible course. You can choose any of the courses I've made mention of, or go on the school's occupation list and choose something that has been on there for a very, very long time. Once you get a course, get an educational agent, and with the help of an educational agent, they will help you apply for a student visa subclass 500. Okay, once you get your visa, congratulations, come to Australia and make sure you study and comply with the visa requirements. All you have to do is to make sure your record in immigration is green. Okay, this will help you when it's time for you to apply for your permanent residence. So once you go through your studies, complete your course meeting good academic requirements. Okay, so make sure you get good grades after you finished your course. So once you finish your studies, congratulations, you can now go ahead and apply for a temporary graduate visa subclass 485. Okay, with the visa subclass 485, they've got 2 streams, and with these 2 streams, depending on where you did your studies and also the sort of course you studied, you'll be able to stay in Australia from 2 to 4 years. Okay, And within these 2 to 4 years, make sure you get your work experience based on the sort of course you studied. This is really, really important. People tend to forget about the sort of course they studied and they go and do another job. This is a big mistake. Make sure you do a job that is relevant to the sort of course you study so you can use that to apply for your permanent residence. All these will give you points towards you becoming a permanent resident in Australia. This is really, really important. Once you get your experience, then you can move on to becoming a permanent resident by applying for an occupation in the General Skilled Migration Program. Okay, so you can choose to go with the Skilled Independent Visa Surplus 189. With this visa, you'll be allowed to work anywhere in Australia, or you can choose to go with the Skilled Dominated Visa Surplus 190. With this visa, you have to go and select a certain state. So you can choose to go with maybe Victoria and Queensland, NSW, South Australia, Western Australia, and the Northern Territory. And once you get selected, you become a permanent resident by staying and working in that state. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below and I'll be there to help you guys out. I love this quote. This quote was given to me by Canva. It says, "Believe you are halfway there, keep hustling to the finish line." I really, really love it. Thank you so much for listening to Kwame Twumasi. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below and I'll be there to help you guys out. And if you love this content, please show some love by clicking on the subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you do not miss out when I release another video. My name is Kwame Twumasi. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.